Hi, gorgeous Aquarians. I changed my intro a little bit this time around, didn't I? I said that a little bit differently, but hello, Aquarius. And welcome to June 2019. This is one of those very symbolic, energetically rich months. And I have to tell you, the fixed signs, we are in for a really powerful energy cycle. We've now established our footing, I think, a little bit in Uranus and Taurus and Chiron and Aries, and we're getting used to these outer planet retrogrades for the next few months, which, if you have not checked out my magical mid-year intuitive guide, I highly recommend you go on over to Vimeo. You can download it and keep it forever. So if you're curious about those outer planet transits and these longer transits, it's a great resource. But June definitely challenges the fixed signs. And for you, your recalibration with the magic of the solstice energy, with the magic of the shifting of the pieces, the magic of this kind of death rebirth energy that happens when we hit into solstice, reassessment time, reconnection time, new set points being set, is that calibration energy. The challenge for you, the call for you, the journey for you is to feel the privilege of feeling everything, right? And honestly, this has kind of been true for all the fixed signs. It's not just Aquarians, not just picking on you because Aquarians are considered to be detached or whatever, as I don't really experience that with Aquarians whatsoever. So I'm not really going there with this message. I just want to say that. But there is a call for you to let yourself feel everything this month, and kind of to just not try and numb out, not try and avoid this, to really think about this as a huge advantage for you, a huge privilege, a huge point of heart opening, heart softening, letting yourself crack open a little bit. I mean, Gemini season's so powerful for you. It's fifth house energy. It's a fellow air sign, and we have this new moon in Gemini in your fifth house. We have Venus moving into Gemini on the 9th. All this energy the first 3 weeks of the month is fusing you, naturally flowing with your Aquarian hearts to let you express and feel and connect and deepen. And as we go into the solstice, we have the solstice happening on the 20th. Well, we have a full moon in Sagittarius, I should mention before I go to the solstice on the 17th. And that is in that 11th house, that friendship energy, that community energy. All of these energies are very supportive of you. I'm going to start shuffling here. And then, of course, we move into Cancer season. And on that same day, Neptune goes retrograde. And as we work our way into this new energetic cycle, we are letting old visions and fantasies fade away. We are clearing space for there to be the hope of a new earth. Two of Swords. Interesting. Something else wanted to come out. Hanged Man. This is so weird because here's something that's going on, and oops, Eight of Wands wanted to pop out. That's been going on this month with the readings. All the oppositional signs are having a lot of mirror cards. So the axis energy, so Leo, Aquarius, we're always deeply tied in the way we experience the world. Leo got Two of Swords and Hanged Man as well. It's just really interesting to me, but I think the tone of yours are quite different. Queen of Swords, yep, there's a different tone going on here for sure. But as we move into Cancer season, we move into the solstice, we move into the second half of the year, and we start to dip into the magic that is this meeting point, this recalibration point. You are starting to become more and more into your own, and you are starting to feel more and more of this sense of Nine of Cups. Yes, I love this. Integrity on your journey. And the ability to express yourself, because the other thing that happens, so we move into Cancer, which, especially if you're an Aquarius rising, you're going to have a little bit more focus on your daily rituals, Wheel of Fortune. But Mercury moves into Leo, your opposing sign, your relational sign, and that's going to be a really good thing. The engines are working for Aquarians to find ways to express what they need to express in a way that's very supportive of you. And I think you'll be noticing that your voice is coming up and out of you, whether you had pre-planned it or not, it is coming up and out of you. Oh yeah, King of Swords. You got the Queen and the King of Swords and the Wheel of Fortune. You better believe there's some truth telling going on this month, you know? There's some honesty. There's like no fear in just saying exactly what you need or want. Wow. And the rewards are huge. I think that's the thing. You know, we fear being seen, right? Like Aquarians, you're pretty bold people and you tend to not have a problem, but you have a certain part of yourself that you keep for yourself and that you hide and that you don't want to share. And so for you, that hits into fears, right? That hits into the fears you have about sharing yourself or sharing certain parts of your vision or your relationships or what have you. But if you can let yourself crack open a little bit in that heart center, and speak those truths, there's huge payoffs. There's huge payoffs in feeling peace and feeling able to sleep better at night and feeling better able to like wake up with joy and not have things like hanging deep inside there, you know, that you've shoved into there. So this is a cracking open for you. And like I said, the rewards are brilliant. The energy here is beautiful. And there isn't a lot of scary energy, to be honest, in the June reading for you all. Other than this sense that it is time for some truths to be spoken, for some words to be expressed, for some heart opening to occur. You know, we start with kind of this more mystical, introspective energy. The Two of Swords and the Hanged Man are very introspective and quite mysterious. You know, they take away the ability to move. Both of these figures, they're in that hallway energy. They're in that quiet space. And this may be a little bit of a holdover from the May energy of mystery. But the thing with these figures, though, is like when you're fighting against this, you're fighting against this internal knowing, this quietness, this softness. It feels awful. It's super uncomfortable. It's a little bit scary. You don't know what's going to happen next. Okay, that's not fun at all. But if you're relaxed, all this amazing stuff comes through you. You know, the things you wanted to create, what you realize what you needed to tell somebody or what you need to express. You realize where you need to set a healthy boundary. You find all of the inspiration that you need to in those little details. Again, it's a reconnective energy. These both are very tied deeply to meditation. The Two of Swords is that sense of, you know, when our analytical minds get an upper hand on us, they actually disable us. They actually take away our ability to move through the world in the way that we want to, right? And then the Hanged Man is that understanding that abundance doesn't always look like busy work and hitting the pavement hard, which you guys do tend to overbook yourselves. You do tend to push yourselves to burnout. It's a thing that you guys do. You overschedule, you overbook, you overcommit, you put yourselves in these positions where it feels bad. So both of these are challenging you to trust in your value without all of that busyness and without all of that intense go, 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 right? And there is this beautiful, deep, mysterious energy to these. They're both about abundance, and they're also about preparing you to get ready. And I tell you what, get ready you are. I mean, I think that new moon and kind of just as we navigate the first week or so of the month is going to be a really great time for you to kind of integrate some things, feel prepared, feel the soil, kind of getting good and comfy under your feet, because then look what happens. This train is taken off from the station. Eight of Wands and the Queen of Swords. Now this is quick, fast, clear, decisive energy, right? This is not wishy-washy. It's not like, I don't know, maybe next week. This is like, I got something to say, and I'm going to tell it straight to your face. You know, like Eight of Wands is one of these really fast energies. It doesn't have a story, right? It doesn't have a character overthinking things or feeling things or not knowing. It's just pure action. It's just pure movement. It's just pure energy moving from one point to another. If you kind of look at this, you can think about it in terms of like war and things like that. But if you just look at these, they are moving through the air. They have energy and momentum behind them, and it's go time. For you, I think there is a voice. There has been something that you have locked away. Something you've wanted to say, something you've wanted to clarify, something you've wanted to address. Maybe something within yourself. Maybe you just have to have a talking to with yourself. Maybe you need to let somebody know you can't commit to something anymore. Maybe you need to let somebody know that that did actually hurt. And just because I'm able to handle it doesn't mean I necessarily want to. Maybe it's that you need to set a healthy boundary in your work environment, or that you need to do, there's some kind of communication that is bubbling up in you and it's ready to come out. And I think in speaking that truth, you're nervous. You're scared to be abandoned. You're scared to be rejected. You're scared that you'll be misunderstood, or that people won't get that you need certain levels of support or recognition. You may feel really frustrated by all of that, or scared of all of that, but the thing is that the payoff is huge. There is a revolution going on here, but look at this. I mean, you go straight from the Eight of Wands and the Queen of Swords, which is that truth-telling, fast energy, into the Nine of Cups, the well-being energy. You're held. You're safe. It feels less safe to be in the world when we aren't willing to advocate for ourselves, or we suppress certain things that need to come up and out, because then the world is a treacherous place. Because we're living with our own enemy within us, right? If we are willing to not advocate for ourselves, right? But if you're willing to do so, in that clear mindset of understanding this is something that you need, and being willing to be forthright about it, you're held, you're safe. You have the emotional support. You won't get bad reactions. You might even be surprised at the level of peace that comes. Now, there is a revolution afoot. The Wheel of Fortune is powerful energy. It's a 10. It's the 10 in the major arcana, and 10s are pretty powerful, right? It's a death and rebirth energy. It's the spinning of the dial. It's a click of the clock, into the next tick. So what was can no longer be. We are in this moment now, and there's something that's turning. There's something that's changing. There's something that's dying out. And in its place, something beautiful is blooming. And you kind of have to be the executor of that shift. It's like none of this will happen if you continue to suppress. You will continue kind of the same routine, which is fine if that's what you need right now or what you want to do. Timing is always perfect. It's always your journey as far as when you want to open doors or when you want to establish boundaries. We all need to do that in the right time for us, so that it is authentic and it is meaningful, and that it is something that we really truly embody for ourselves. But something's changing here, and it does come via truth. It does come via truth. The King of Swords is beautiful energy. He's often associated with Libra, but air signs alike can understand having a rational conversation, having a rational argument back and forth, and hearing two sides of a conversation. But the King of Swords, like the Queen of Swords, is a truth bringer. Is a communicator. Is going to use his words to say what needs to be said, is going to use his words to find greater balance and to find greater peace, and to honestly have emotional release. And the thing with the Queen of Swords and the King of Swords is they are not about emotional turmoil, tsunamis, and bonfires being lit on situations or scenarios. There's a rationality behind them, right? Your soul is speaking to you. And it's actually, we don't have to talk about rationality. When your soul is speaking to you about a change that needs to be made, that's valid. That's valid, even if you can't write out on paper why that logically makes the best sense. Your soul knows something has to click. Now, once again, it's so interesting to me. The Queen of Swords turns into the Nine of Cups. The King of Swords turns into the Ten of Cups. I mean, maybe you have another air sign in your life or another communicator in your life, and you guys are working through some deep conversations that allow for this type of happiness, this type of joy. Maybe that's what it is. This could be a journey of a deep partnership, a deep relationship, or a deep type of relationship in your life that is needing some time, some conversation, some openness, some vulnerability. But it can also just be about something in your lifestyle, something that you're working through that you no longer want to hold in the way you've been holding it. You want to feel the liberation of being true to your soul. And in doing that, you do create enough space, enough release to walk through a doorway into something better. I'll tell you a little personal story, just like as an example of this. Some of you may follow me on Instagram, and I had put up a story about a friendship that was that had kind of gotten a little strange with the Venus retrograde at the end of last year and had shifted. And in true independent form, instead of advocating and asking my deep questions when I was feeling that things had gotten a little strange, I kind of pushed it down for 6 months. And during that 6 months, I started to wake up in the night, totally spooked and freaked out at like 2 in the morning. And I'd go to bed about after 15 minutes, but I didn't know what that was about. I thought it was about other parts of my life because that hadn't been a big, particularly tumultuous separation or anything, but I thought it was just about me thinking about other things. And I also had like muscle tension and things that were going on. And I finally, decided to be vulnerable and just write a kind and loving email letting this person know where I stood with everything, what I had felt and the questions I had. And we had a nice little exchange. And once I had done that, the night terrors stopped that exact same day. I haven't had one since. The muscle tension stopped. And suddenly, like, I had a capacity to feel again at a deep level. And I'm telling you, this wasn't one of my closest friendships. This wasn't somebody who I felt was at the center of my life by any stretch of the imagination. So in my mind, I'm thinking, I don't really need to spend time, being vulnerable with that situation. It's not bothering me. It's really not bothering me. Obviously it was. But I mean, sometimes the things that we need to address, the things we need to express or connect with, they don't always have to be the big central relationships. They don't always have to be the obvious centerpiece to your life that you think is the thing that you need to be addressing. Sometimes it's if we have something that's been nagging at us in the back of our mind that we have not expressed, it will find its way up and out. And it's amazing how much it's hard to realize while you're in the process of it that you're needing that kind of expression and nurturing in order to create the space to have joy again. But I can speak from recent experience that there's something really beautiful that happens with your energetic field when you do. So I'm going to send you guys off with a little solstice toast for my Aquarian hearts. I love you guys so much. So much. And here's a solstice toast for this calibration point. It's a toast to you. It's a prayer to you that you can take with you through the month. May the road ahead feel warm and comforting and full of supportive light. May you feel that light extending from your heart. May the love and support you desire appear in beautiful new forms. May you feel peace and excitement flow through you in energetic waves. Cheers. And yes, this is sparkling water. I take good care of myself, y'all. That's for sure. So if I would really appreciate it if you guys would like and subscribe. That would mean so much to me. You can check out the Magical Midyear. I'll leave the Vimeo link in the description box. You can find me on Instagram at SARAHVRBA. I would love to see you guys there. We have a really good time. You can also find me on my website and my email. I'll leave all of the business inquiry info in the description box if you are interested in connecting with me to hire me to speak somewhere, or if you want some coaching, get in touch with me. I'm going to be shifting my calendar around a bit the second half of this year and focusing a little bit differently on how I do the sessions, but that's all in the works, so stay in touch with me. I'm wearing PinkLune's gorgeous jewelry as always. This is a tiger's eye and quartz crown. I'm obsessed. I never want to take it off. There's only one that exists. It's in her shop. I'm wearing it right now, but it is up for sale. Anybody want to buy it for me? I'm just kidding. You guys, I love you so much. I am sending you all my love. I will see you for July. Take really good care of yourselves and have a beautiful June.